else. Yeah, we're not. None of us are safe. No. It's a countdown to Palantir has all our IDs. Yeah. It was a shot across the bow for any American who wants to do what he did. This is what you're going to get. Any of it. It's a warning. No matter. It's a warning and a promise. Yeah. Warning. Right. Exactly. And they know people like us know it. And they look at us like, you can't prove it. You're not going to be able to do it.
So, we just want to get to a few hands here. Doug, is that you that keeps chiming in?
Yeah, sorry. I just want to get lost. I'm so excited. Thanks for having me up here. This is great.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, if you could just be respectful of some of these hands. Eva, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. There's something I noticed yesterday that I've been writing under some big accounts, but nobody saw me. I realized yesterday that the camera crew is for sure involved in the operation to kill Charlie. Okay, there are two big, huge cameras. I'm not talking about the small camera behind Charlie that you've probably all have seen these videos that they removed a small camera behind Charlie 5 minutes after. Well, actually, I'm talking about the two big, huge cameras that are kind of old-style cameras, extremely big for the event, in fact. And one of them is removed right after the shot. The camera operator is a woman, even a short woman. She looks even childish, which to me, I think it's like a very typical PSYOP operation. It's the last person you would suspect. She's like 8 feet away from Charlie, really, really close, right in front of Charlie. And there are two, like exactly, apparently the same cameras. This one that is operating this woman, and then another that is even closer to Charlie. If you watch all the videos that there are all around, you can see that before the shot, these two cameras are always there. And all the videos that we have from the aftermath, one remains and the other one disappeared right away after the shot. And this is a big, heavy camera. Even if we don't have videos of that moment in which they removed that camera, because we have a video removing the other smaller cameras, but not the two main ones. That's a heavy camera, and that's something that nobody would do if it's not somehow involved. Because if you have someone killed right in front of you, the last thing you're thinking is of carrying something super big to escape. Even more if it's crime evidence, the main crime evidence. It's the main camera of the event. And nobody's talking about that. And I know that it's pointing exactly at the camera crew that for sure they are involved. I think a lot of more people are involved. I also think that they think the long shot, took the attention of everybody else. And that camera, even if the two seem equal, those two huge cameras, I think that the one that is in front of Charlie probably was not only a camera, but also a weapon inside. For sure, it's big enough to hide any type of weapon. So that's not a sure thing, but what is certain, and I invite everybody, all of you, to check all the videos that you've seen from before and after. Because the reason why I didn't realize myself until yesterday is because in the aftermath, you do see one of these big cameras, but the other one has disappeared. So check it out. There were two, not one, two. And one of them disappears right away. So if people don't start talking about this, they are not going to research who were the camera crew, because for sure they were IDF or who knows what, but nobody is asking anything about the camera crew, and for sure they are involved. So what do you think of this? Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I mean, there's a video I just saw of one of the camera crew, the guys just taking down the camera blatantly, like nothing happened. The way they're behaving when they're taking, if that's one of the guys you're talking about, there's a video of a guy in a gray shirt taking down the camera, almost pretending like nothing happened, which I found super bizarre. But that would be a logical place, I think, where they would insert like a Mossad crew or a CIA crew that would be right in the heart of the assassination. Have the official cover to get in there.
One more thing. Notice in that video, if you're looking at it right now, notice that the camera, it's even disappeared even before that video. So, because some people actually researched the timing that the small camera behind Charlie was removed 5 minutes after the shot. And actually the huge big one that I'm talking about is removed even before that video. And they don't remove that small camera at the beginning of the video, but actually 1 or 2 minutes after the video started, which means that the huge big camera was removed in somewhere between those 2 minutes right after the shot, probably immediately after. So check it out, because there were 2. Not 1, but 2 big cameras. And in the aftermath, you can only see 1. Check it out, please.
The evidence.
Do you have that video that you can put in the pill so you can see it, or?
Yeah, give the mic to somebody else, and I'm going to look for it, and I come back.
Okay.
If this were anybody else, they would have left the cameras up because it would capture the evidence. This is what the problem is. If this was a crime scene of anyone else, and the cameras were pointed outwards towards the crowd, you would have saw that. They would have said anything. They would say, "Hey, we need help finding the shooter. We have the camera footage." They would have put it. They would have threw it on the web. They would have given us all information. But because of what this man was doing, and who he was involved with, and the money he turned down, and the friends he had, they took down the actual cameras that will give us the evidence and give us this grainy footage. They didn't, we could have had the entire crowd's face. We could have known everybody who was there. They took those cameras away, and the footage is gone. It's amazing. Like in a crime scene, they leave the evidence there. All the evidence doesn't get moved immediately. You don't start scrubbing the floor in a crime scene as soon as they rope it off, they put the tape up, they put barriers up, and then they actually do a deep dive. They start like to what Eva said, they immediately started removing the cameras. The only way we would know anything, they took that shit away. And we had to rely on video footage from phones. That is the fucking it's the creme de la creme. You can't make this shit up.
Absolutely, man. This whole thing, this whole story has holes in it. I don't think there's one credible angle to the other story.
I just put 2 tweets in the bubble. One with the picture of the big camera itself, and another one, which is the main one. It has a picture of actually the camera operator right before the shot, 1 second before the shot. And there's a thread in which I explain in that other tweet. So you can see even the camera operator there in that picture. Can you see it?
Yeah, I'll take a look at it while one of the other hands is going. Thank you. Go ahead, Veritas.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, nice panel you have here. Yeah, I think it's more than obvious that Israel definitely had a lot of reasons to get rid of him. He was so openly against what was going on in Israel and in America by Jewish influence. that he really became not only a liability to them, but their potential biggest threat that they ever have faced, because of his massive reach in America, and especially his influence on the youth and all the campuses he was debating on. So he basically completely negated the October 7th lies that were portrayed by the Israeli IDF and media. He called it actually an ethnic cleansing, which was definitely new in American media. And he blamed the open border policies on Jewish influence. He blamed basically all leftist ideology, all this LGBTQ and DEI policies also on liberal atheist Jews. He criticized AIPAC influence on American politics. And so many more things. So when you just have one lone gunman shooter theory, that is basically completely absurd in so many ways, right? He was he had a weak eye. I'm not sure if he was silver-eyed or what it's called in English, but he had very bad eyesight. And his grandmother said he never touched once a rifle and he hated guns. So to assume that he made that shot, about 200 yards, perfect shot, that's very, very unlikely. And the whole assembling and disassembling of a Mauser rifle that requires at least a very good screwdriver and some minutes of assembling and deassembling, then he laid that rifle down in the woods and placed some bullets with trans ideology and mock engravings next to it. Very, very unlikely. And then the breakdown of the rifle is basically impossible to store that away. So stuffing that in your trousers is impossible if you want to jump down a roof. So nothing really adds up. Also, the story about the Discord and the group he was supposedly in shut down multiple channels he was in. One of the officials of Discord directly one day after said he didn't communicate via Discord in that time frame. That was buried again, and so nothing really adds up when it comes to the shooter. And the only real reason to have him murdered basically was by Israel. So if you consider all the Zionist and Jewish influence in his security team, and the last interviews he had with Ben Shapiro, and then in the Hamptons, the meeting Candace Owens was speaking about with who was it? Who was the guy? Bill Aikman, right? And yes, some other Jewish donors. He lost basically all his Zionist donor base the last couple of months because he entertained guests like Tucker Carlson and some other slightly opposing Zionist guests. So there was more than just one reason to have him murdered, and I don't buy it at all.
Yeah, no, I mean, you listed all those points, and it just puts so many holes in the story. I mean, one of the biggest ones to me too, speaking of that chat, is how the Discord CEO came out and said there was no Discord chat. Why would he lie? Why would he cover for this? Why? It doesn't make any sense unless you realize that they made it up out of whole cloth. And then when you read the syntax the syntax of the messages, it's like it was written by like a 50-year-old man pretending to be a 22-year-old kid.
Yes.
I mean, the whole thing is comical.
My love.
It's just comical.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that I think. Yeah, I asked Grok about that, and he also said that it looked kind of staged, and some people did that as well with ChatGPT and other AI, and it definitely looked like some older guy gave some bullet points to include in the text and have AI created. It looked completely staged and not like any young guy would talk to his actual boyfriend or whatever. So yeah, I don't buy it. And then the whole Zin situation, the guy that was screaming, "Shoot me, shoot me." That's so odd, right? I mean, how are the chances that he was the guy calling for Al Qaeda at 9/11, made a bomb threat at the marathon, and then declares himself as the patsy at this shooting? I mean, come on! And then also the plane that disappeared and turned off their transponder that was owned by some Mormon millionaire that was the biggest donor to the Shabbat Lubavitch. Yeah.
Veritas, I'm sorry, buddy. Hey, Doug, do you have your mic open this whole time? That's really bothersome.
No, I just turned it on. Sorry,
okay, please don't do that when someone's talking. Okay, thank you, man.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Veritas.
Yeah, that's basically it. So many coincidences. I don't believe generally in coincidences, especially when it comes to events like that. I mean, I can go into some patterns and numerology that is surrounding the whole shenanigans, but maybe someone else has some more info. And what was also very odd, yeah, the perfect timing of Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu at 3:02. 3:02 is the code for FBI witness list. Yeah, everything's very odd, very, very odd, and I like the numerology. It is very telling in most cases, and they love it too because they really believe in it. And so maybe we can go into that a little later.
Yeah, thanks, Veritas. You point out like all the holes in the case. It's just so blatantly obvious at this point. Lou, thanks for joining us, man. What do you think about everything that's going on? Lou, are you there, sir? Okay, I'm probably gonna go to Hans. Eva, I did look at the cameras. I've always thought the camera crew could have been involved, but after seeing those photos, and especially I'm gonna try and find that video of the guy in the gray shirt removing the camera right after, and he clearly looks like he's an operator. So I'll put that in the pill as well. Go ahead, Eva.
Yeah, I wanted to ask all of you, well, notice in that particular video that you're talking about, that the big camera that I'm talking about is not even there from the beginning of that video. So so the big one that I'm talking about is removed long before that video. And I wanted to ask people if somebody has seen, which is like the final thing that I'm missing. I'm sure all of you have seen different signs of people in the stage that they were doing. I also thought, okay, maybe one of them is the shooter, maybe not, blah, 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 all this. I looked at all of that. But what I did not see is there is a guy in the front row beside the camera operator that does something strange in his arm in the exact moment of the shooting, which I think that probably is the final sign for the operator, maybe. But what I did not see in any video, I don't know if any of you have seen. I don't know anything about signaling, but we've all have seen that there were people signaling there, even if I don't know what those signs mean. But what I did not see is the people in the stage around Charlie, what they did with their hands or with their arms in the exact moment of the shot. Because in all the videos that I've seen of the shot, you clearly see the shot, but you don't see their movements of these other people. And so I'm wondering if there was some final sign for the long shooter, the long shot that everybody heard from afar, or not. Does anybody here have seen anything about it?
Can I jump in, guys, real quick? I can respond to that. So I've been a producer and director going on 20 years. I worked on The Apprentice for a few seasons as co-producer, and I live a couple miles from Trump's house. This is the perfect crime. I mean, I can have my editors take all this footage and cut it up and make it look like a scene from The Bourne Identity. There was somebody who gave a signal behind Charlie that touched his elbow, or right above his elbow twice, right? There was two other guys that looked like they gave signals. Now look, I've worked with hundreds of camera crews over the years, from doing documentaries to music videos, commercials, etc. The cameraman is so protected of his gear, I wouldn't doubt that camera was gone in 30 seconds. All of my guys would have packed their gear. If it was a war that started, they wouldn't have been worried about the bullets. They would have got their gear out of there first. What I don't doubt is somebody hiring a hitman crew as the camera crew to replace those guys. No cameraman that I know is going to take any risk like that. So for sure, that camera crew was replaced by either a Mossad or whoever. And those cameras, just like the cell phones in the Middle East when they blew up, they could have easily, dismantled those cameras, went inside the lens, made the barrel, come out the lens, could have even left the glass there possibly, or done something with the glass to make it look real, right? So I have no doubt in my mind that the camera crew could have been a hitman crew. Now look, guys, we've seen so many different attempts on the president, etc. over the years. Those kids are looking around for snipers. They're looking up, they're looking at every rooftop. I guarantee it, man. I'm around these kids all the time. I've managed influencers, from the age of, let's say, 18 to 25 has been my career around these kids. Those kids are incredibly smart because of their experiences and what they see on social media. They're scouting. As soon as they get there, they guarantee you they're looking around. This is the perfect crime. In order for him to get to the crime scene, right, take the shot, whoever it was, get out of there and set up this Robinson kid to take the fall, the perfect crime. The private jet that left, guarantee you it had something to do with it. The guy who was there that was at 9/11, guarantee you he was telling you, shoot me, shoot. That's a complete distraction, right? So there were several distractions there set up for whoever accomplished this crime to get away. My name is Mohsen. It's been a great space. Thank you, guys.
Can I ask you something?
Thanks, Mohsen. I just want to weigh in on something real quick, and then you can go ahead. So Mohsen, I posted a video about George Sin's distraction up at the top of the nest, and they posted a video to Eva as well of the cameraman who they think might be a Mossad operator. So check those out. Go ahead.
Will do.
Yeah, I wanted to ask him what he said about the war made me think that it's different war to be in a war. I haven't been in a war, but I could understand that people that are working at war that take their cameras, no matter if they're shooting, if they're heavy, that I can understand. But it's different to be in war than to be in a college place where there's a crime, because there were policemen there. So, and in fact, they removed one and they left the other. So it seems like the other one is left there so that nobody suspects that they wanted to remove the evidence. So one of the two big, huge cameras remains there all the time in the aftermath, but the other one, they removed it right away. And if you see the aftermath, the people were sad, were worried, but after a few minutes, people were not scared of more shots being shot. Everybody realized that it was to kill Charlie what they did. So the rest of the students that you see in the campus and everything, they were not scared of being shot. So it's not like being in war, and everybody knows.
Eva, I was using the war as being sarcastic. So what I meant is the cameramen are so protective. They love their gear. They clean it up after they're done with every shoot. So what I was saying is they would, if a hurricane was coming or an earthquake was coming, they'd make sure they got their camera and been out of there in 30 seconds. So I wasn't relating it to a war by any means. I was just being sarcastic by saying, you know, even if a war was coming, they would get their cameras out. I don't doubt what you're saying is true, but what I'm saying is it's not your average cameraman. It was a hired hit crew, hired hitman. There was evidence left. They found the gun, the towel, whatever they found. I mean, I don't think it would have mattered if they left the camera there. As long as the guys got away, I mean, the evidence, this is all going to die out in a few months, like all the stuff that the government wants to hide. Again, guys, it's a perfect crime. For us to not be able to have freedom of speech, for a good man like that to be taken away, has a family. Look, I have friends that are friends with his family, right? Crying on the phone. This is a very difficult situation for Americans right now because our freedom, our ability to speak of what we want to. Palestine, look,
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to keep moving through the hands. We got people waiting. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Canadian, I may have to drop out for a second. Are you cool to, or Ian, I don't know if you're still there. I think you are, but you're on mute. I may have to drop out in a sec for like 10 minutes. Canadian, if you could take over after that. Are you still here, sir? Okay. Go ahead, Frank. Let me be Frank.
Yeah, another scary thing is I watched Kash Patel getting grilled by Congress today, and the rhetoric that I really picked up on is that there's all this supposed politically charged violence that's coming from the left and the right, and that more needs to be done by the FBI to surveil us. And so this has become like a latchkey to start that happening, which is scary. But unfortunately, you know, if you've read any of Orwell or the other, what's his name, Brave New World, this is where we're heading. So yeah, this is going to be a pivotal factor in that, I think.
Never let a good crisis go to waste.
Canadian, I see you waving, and it's weird. It's like not showing you as a co-host, but are you still up on the block?
He needs to recycle. I think he's locked up, Godfrey.
Okay. Yeah, I can't. Canadian, if you could drop down, it won't allow me to recycle you from my end. If you could drop down, I'll bring you right back up. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, it won't let me. Oh yeah, Ian has to remove it. Ian, are you still there, sir? Can you cycle Canadian down?
Yeah, he's there. Let me DM him.
Okay, cool. Thanks. All right, go ahead, Jay. Thanks, man. Thanks for holding.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's a matter of time. I mean, we're seeing people get shot. We're seeing our political. I don't know what we could do. You know, I watched every angle of the videos of Charlie getting shot My wife cried about it. It just the fact that they're just so open and shut about this thing, and Trump disappointed me. I mean, I changed my my profile picture from my face to a man being stabbed in the back. That's what that is. Because I remember what he said versus what's happening now. And there's a stark contrast. It's hurtful. We were all stabbed in the back. I mean, literally, it's just you can't ignore it anymore. I don't know who can and why. The angles, the trajectory, everything is wrong, and even I can see it. I'm not on the ballistics team of the FBI, but I can fucking tell. Oh, you guys can tell. We're using cell phone video camera footage, not because we look like to what Eva said. The actual good cameras, those 4D, triple whatever definition cameras, all over the place. None of that footage was given to us. None of it. It's that they just took it and set it on fire. What footage? Here's some grainy footage of a man on a roof, and you can't barely tell what it looks like. Seriously? They got drones in the air. There's high resolution cameras everywhere. Just cell phone footage from just people around and just people around. It's fucked up. Where's the transparency? And then the thing is this: there are people out there who say, "Well, why would you think it's Israel?" Because it's fucking open and shut. Nothing to see here. Don't worry about it. Trump is joking on his social media, cracking jokes and putting up memes and AIs, and not a peep about Charlie Kirk, the guy that helped him get elected, the guy that swayed half of the colleges to vote for him. One of his best supporters. And this is a stab in the fucking back. You putting up memes about Fannie Willis and really Charlie Kirk just got killed. That's what you got to put up. That's your happy place. And it's a fucking slap in the face, a stab in the back. We were all betrayed. And for what? Because somebody blackmailed them. Somebody has footage. Somebody has tapes. Somebody has video. Why else would you do a complete 180 like this? And it's hurtful. I don't know. I don't have it. We know who's doing this. And we know they kill the people that even question them. They always have. The Saints weren't wrong, Ian. The Saints weren't wrong.
So, James, I have a question for you. What did you think about that very bizarre image Trump did of him and Charlie Kirk, and you had the American flag and the Israeli flag, and it said Shlomo Pearl on it? I'll actually put that in the pill for everybody. I thought that was it was so tasteless and so bizarre. Instead of having an image with Charlie Kirk and an American flag, he puts an image of Charlie Kirk and Trump and an Israeli flag and an American flag. And I just thought it was so bizarre. Did you see that?
I saw that. Shlomo Pearl is a quote-unquote Holocaust survivor that disguised as a German and was actually serving for the Germans then, and later escaped. It's basically a term for a gullible idiot that believes a story. So they're making fun of you.
Yeah, that's what I saw. You guys,
I'm back.
the most confusing thing I mean, the most red flag thing, right? We talked about who was shot and the motives. We obviously know all the Israel videos of Charlie come out recently. How quickly and how frequently Benjamin Netanyahu addressed this and did his little tour. That is the most bizarre shit ever. Immediately jumping on it to try to leverage the incident to benefit Israel, to talk about how much he loved Israel. That is the most damning thing to me that shows their involvement. It is just so absolutely bizarre for a world leader to do that. It beyond bizarre. So, I mean, that's something that just absolutely indicts them in my mind. I know it's not hard proof, but I hope people realize how fucking crazy that was.
You know, when Lindsey Graham, we had the floods here in Tennessee, and they had the damage in the Carolinas and all that stuff. And the first thing Lindsey Graham gets on the news that says, we got to protect Israel. Like, what the fuck? And, Charlie Kirk gets assassinated. Why is there an Israel flag? What the fuck is that? Why is that brought up? Like you said, that's the most damning evidence. He gets shot, allegedly, by a trans-loving homosexual man. And you put an Israeli flag. That's what you put up? It's fucking insane. Like, why is that way? Like, let's say we bought the narrative and we drank the Kool-Aid. We Jim Jones this shit. Let's say we just it was the, why would you do, then you put this up? As Israeli flag, unnecessarily in the image.
I mean, the American Congress has the layout of a menorah, right? Even with the lights on as the candles. So, and
I mean, yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Veritas.
Yeah, and 2 days after his death, 150 representatives are flown out to Israel. Also very weird, right? Everyone is jumping on the no, Israel didn't do it. Very suspicious. And within a couple of minutes after the shooting, all those right-wing influencers put out basically the same agenda, condemning leftist terrorism. So to me, it looked very.
I mean, if a world leader, if they respond quickly to something like that, it's just way out of the norm for a world leader to address a non-politician dying. They release a statement or something praying for Charlie Kirk and his family, blah, blah, blah. But he goes on there immediately and talks about Palestine and radical Islam. Just so bizarre.
I just saw something that somebody said that the girl that's over this transgender guys, whatever, she's half Iranian or something. They're already started. We're already getting inundated with all this bullshit.
His boyfriend? What do you mean, Jay?
There's this post somebody sent to me, and it's the lady she's transgender or trans or whatever, and she's part Iranian. They're already started. They just want this shit they want us to fight Iran so bad. They want that. And I told Ian this a long time ago. I told I said the best thing Americans can, especially white Americans, 'cause I'm black, and I have a whole family that was in the military, and they all told me not to go. And I'm gonna tell you this: I said the best thing that the white Americans can do, because they've used this thing to kill the best and bravest and strongest of you guys. They got you over there dying in the desert in the sand. Your best guys, your Delta, your Army Rangers, the best of the white guys that they could find. Guys who are in the top 1% of all of you. Not a lot of guys can make Ranger, Delta, Recon, Marine, and they got those guys overseas dying. He said, well, if you gotta take a PLO, you gotta take out this people, you gotta fight this, you gotta fight the Lebanese, you gotta fight, and we're doing it. They like, where's Israel's army? Can't they fight these battles? Can't they get like they're not on the front lines? They're in a siege mentality. They just defend Israel. And they provide intelligence. They go like, no, they're not. They provide intelligence that's false so that we fight wars for them. They tell us that Iraq has got a weapon of mass destruction. They tell us Iran's this close to having a nuclear weapon that's going to be aimed at America. And next it'll be Russia. And then it'll be another country. And they figured out how to get all the white patriots to go die. And that's that. It's a trick. You know, they've never forgiven you guys. You know, as a black guy, I can see it. They've never forgiven you guys for allowing them to get brutally beaten and killed during the World War II. And they're punishing you for it. But a lot of you guys just can't see it.
Dude, they don't know. This room knows. Trust me. What else they don't forget is all of the expulsions that were done by primarily white Christian countries throughout the ages. Yeah. They hold on to every last piece bit of that stuff.
And they're getting revenge. And the thing is, I try to explain it to my other cast of guys. Can't you see this? The same way the blacks hate whites for slavery, and they've never forgiven you. They're just quiet about it, and they're very slick, and they're very convincing. And like I was telling once, I think I was in one of Ian's spaces, and I said, you know, in Hollywood, you know, there's a lot of Jewish producers and directors, and control. Like 98% was controlled by the Jewish people, and you'll never see a Jewish bad guy. You always see Muslim bad guys. And like one of my favorite flicks growing up was Delta Force with Chuck Norris. You know, and I love that song. Da, 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 da. It was great as a kid. You know, you love that stuff. And they paint the Israelis as victims. Everybody's evil, and we're the good guys. Fight for us, die for us, kill for us. You know, until you're all gone.
Yeah, it's a propaganda arm for Israel. I mean, that's why they literally started Hollywood, dude, for propaganda, for moving the masses in a certain direction. I mean, they're just genius. Unfortunately, they're evil geniuses. Media, money.
It works.
Well, I mean, they definitely are. I mean, the B'nai B'rith, the Jewish-only Freemasonic lodge, that's the Grand Lodge of Israel, basically formed the KKK with Albert Poik and some other Confederate generals. They also basically started the Civil War with Rothschild funding, which was shut down. That's also one of the main grudges they hold against Russia, because Russia was helping America during the Civil War. And
guys, can I start to talk because I have an appointment? I have to go.
Yeah, sure, go on.
I just thank you very much. I just posted the short clip showing all the killing or the crime scene. Have you seen that? Just I replied to the first space and to this space. It's very clear that it's like a team, they work together. The blue guy beside to the right, Charlie, and the white guy with the hat was filming the scene from close, and the black security guy, the black shirt, came a step forward behind Charlie, and Charlie used to, lean down, bending to take the microphone and coming up. That guy in the left is the shooter and waiting for the signal from the black shirt security guy, because he gave him the quick touch to the blue shirt back when just, Charlie just bended to take the put the microphone back, and this is the time where he hit the guy with the blue shirt with the gun under his other hand, and he just showed this kind of sign to him that he rubbed his arm back. That's mean you do it and withdraw from the scene. And he did that from a short distance with an air pistol. It has no bullets. Why? Because the same kind of gun shooting strongly, like what they did in JF Kennedy. The driver shooted JF Kennedy from short distance, and easy to kill without even any kind of dust. And you see the blood came from his neck from down to up. Even his chest was like somebody punched him from his chest from down to up. And in the same time, he ran away, that guy. And what happened? They took.
Yeah, but dude, the problem with the air pistol thing is the noise from the long distance gun. It's clearly a long range, so you'd have to explain what that is. And we obviously see that everyone's seen the sign videos. Dude looks like there are two guys that look like a third base coach in baseball. They clearly give signs, and there's also a video that's come out that shows what the signs mean from a military perspective.
Yeah.
And they actually mean like male, subject, fire, something crazy, where they actually align with what those signals are. But
this signal is just withdraw, shoot and withdraw, just hide. It's very, you cannot kill somebody in this kind of a draw from far distance, because must be full of security around, and they are watching this kind of scene. People can shoot from far distance, right? Second of thing that what they call it, they took the guy, all of them. You see the rest of the reply I did with the videos. They took the guy to a SUV car, no police, no ambulance, and the guy with the white hat that was filming the scene, he was there dragging this guy, and he wanna ride the SUV with him. So to be sure that he is dying for sure in that black car.
Yes, additional info, the guy you're mentioning, that's one of Charlie Kirk's partners. He was also sometimes on his podcast.
Yeah, that's mean they are just inside job.
Hey, would you gentlemen mind if I said one thing before I drop down real quick?
And this security guy, the black shirt, I also posted a video that he belonged to one of the big Israeli security company, and the owner is, he knows Netanyahu very well. So it's very clear that it is what you are talking about.
Who? Which man? Which man?
What?
Some of the man in the green shirt.
The black, the blue shirt is the killer. Yeah, the blue shirt, you see the video, the blue shirt is, because this video always is not there. You see, mostly people, pointing somewhere far away, somebody just handing something. They never show this short clip, which is very clear. He stepped, behind Charlie. He touched that blue guy jacket, and they shot him and leaned back, ran away. Then they took him right away to the SUV alone. until a few minutes. Then they announced to Trump that he already did. Very clear crime scene. And the people around him, they did it.
Yeah.
They did
So
it.
you've got it. You're convinced you've got it figured out.
Would you all mind if I said one thing real drop down?
Yeah, go. Go for it.
Yeah. So I've heard a lot of people talking about the slave ships. They own most of the slave ships. They own most of the plantations. And this is disturbing for our society as a whole. Obviously, the master plan is they want to get rid of white people. Europe, America, they want to mix the races. That's part of the mass migration you see going on right here between the globalists and the UN. It's all planned out.
The Kalergi plan, right?
Yes.
Doug? The Kalergi plan.
This is all planned out. And they're so good at what they do. They're so damn good at what they do. And everything's going accordingly with this right here. We all know we can't do a damn thing about it because Trump, like Kirk, is scared to be assassinated. That's the biggest thing he's worried about. And he knows if he doesn't do it, they tell him to do, he's out. He's out too. And while we're paying attention to Charlie Kirk, Congress is passing 5 or 6 laws on behalf of Israel while we're looking at the shiny thing over here. You saw what they passed. More garbage to throw us in jail if we say anything to besmirch Israel. Now, everybody, this is very important. We are in a fight for our lives. I'm on TikTok and I go toe to toe with these guys. Zios, IDF, they all talk like this and everything. I'm going to kill all your babies. They all sound the same when they talk. And I don't know what we're going to do. We got Palantir, we have Gideon, we have National Guard. They're listening to us now. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm kind of nervous about this. For the first time in my life, what's going to happen to us? This is not good. And we can't, Congress is no use to us. They're all bought and paid for. They're all in the AIPAC payroll. And I don't know what is going to happen. A generation's going to have to come through. The under 30 who can't stand any of them is going to have to come up in maybe 15, 20 years. This ends. I don't know. I hate to say that, but I'm worried. Seriously. You know?
Yeah, we're in a dark, difficult place. And the thing that concerns me, Doug, is that after COVID and those truths came out and people didn't get up off their couch, and there's some very dire, dark shit that already happened that people are aware of, and nobody's really protested and then you look over in the UK and they had 1 million people out there, so even like a peaceful protest, a tax protest because of the bastardization of our tax. I just don't know, dude. I don't know what it's going to take for people
I don't either.
to want to fix this somehow.
And I didn't know Zionism was a thing until about 1.5 years ago. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the fight of our lives. And I'm a 57-year-old man. What's going on here? All of a sudden.
Same, dude.
This is insanity. Our country's gone. We don't have a country like we used to. Everything's changed since COVID, and it's getting worse because of AIPAC and Israel and Netanyahu and putting listening devices in the personal bathroom of the White House. Crap like that going on. My God, I don't know what to do. We keep doing this. One day they're going to round us up, maybe. Shit,
It's bad.
Anyway, I'm gonna drop down.
Zionist bioweapon as well, right?
Hey, and Doug, before you do, I just wanted to thank you for coming in here. I hope that you do more often, because the way that you just spoke about that, it's extremely compelling. It's also, given the age bracket that you mentioned, the demographic, you're precisely what we need, because the younger audiences are starting to realize these things, but there's unfortunately an apathy, I believe, in a lot of those that are, let's just say, 50 plus. And the reason is because they've kind of, they've got their home, the appreciation on that home puts them in a position where they can kind of ride off into the sunset with a little bit of indifference to it all.
My reset happened about 3 years ago, sitting on Reddit at 3 a.m. in the morning looking at declassified information. And I'm watching videos of Palestinians getting the hell beaten out of them. Shireen Abu funeral procession was the final nail in the coffin. I fight for humanity. I thought this country I live in did. They fight for natural resources, oil, natural gas, cobalt now. They don't give a damn about the troops. All they care about is corporate partners, making money for them. We're an encumbrance. We are in their way of making more money. They don't care about us. They never have, never will. Don't call your congressman. We got to figure something out bigger and better. And I don't know what that's going to take, So,
Yeah, and I like to take a position that the ship can be salvaged, I suppose. And I think a lot of the intellectualism that I would put behind that is largely rooted in the fact that I don't like what the alternative ultimately includes, right? And I say that because anything to the alternative of waking people up to this, protesting, standing in front of all the capitals of the various nations on earth, and opposing it loudly to the point that they can no longer pretend that it's not happening, anything alternative to that ultimately goes down a kinetic path that they frankly want us to take, because then they can label us radical, violent,
Right.
dangerous, domestic terrorists, and then almost all of the things that would be mandated for us to have the peaceful opposition and rejection of it immediately gets
Right.
swept off the table because they say that we can't even get together because of all the danger that we
And
represent.
we're anti-Semitic. Listen, there's a reason why the National Guard is in 19 red states where they have the highest gun registration in the country. There's a reason. Think about it. That's where they are. Why are they in Indiana? Why are they in South Dakota? Oh, wait a minute. Put it together. Connect the dots. Anyway, this has been great. Thanks for having me up, and I'll come up more often. This is great. Thank you, everyone, for allowing me to speak. This is very important. Spread the word. No matter how painful it may be, we got to get out there and do it, So,
Well, God love you, my friend, and that's exactly right. The spreading of these truths, the most important thing that we can do, however we can consolidate them in a way that is going to get through to the masses, that is of critical importance. So God love you, my friend, and God bless
thank you.
us.
God bless you.
Also, Ian, I want to just tell you, when you see this kind of scene, it's just a threat for the rest of the politicians or whatever. We will fuck you up the same way.
Yeah, they're going to fuck us up. They will.
This is what they think.
That's what they do.
This is how they show it.
Assassinations is their
Very
bread and butter. Assassinations are bread and butter. That's all they do. That's all they ever done. So anyway, all right, I'm going to drop down. Thanks for having me up again, guys. I will see you again on the flippity flop. Thank you.
Wasn't there that Mossad agent on Pierce Morgan saying, "Oh, this is democracy. We have the right to bring you up and the right to bring you down." These guys kind of just say it out loud.
Yeah, but Ian, you have to think about the progress that's taking place. I go through my own motions of black pill versus not, but I remember when I first started coming around, and I think you were pretty early on the scene, and the day that we thought that we would see mainstream media, what do you think about Tucker, Candace, or the level of discussion and awareness that there is now, every event it compiles? If you'd have thought the discussion was where it was today, even 2 years ago when I first kind of started and came aware of this stuff, I don't know if we would have believed it. So as bad as things are, we should sometimes take awareness and know that this message is getting out, and it's getting out on a large scale. So that is positive.
No, and it's more than positive. And I'll tell you, I remember, and I could pinpoint down to the very day when I initially really got to, maybe I'd say I got the conviction that this was the thing I was going to, I don't want to say die on the hill for, but when it came to speech, I was doing a lot of activism for a long time in various renditions, let's say digitally, and the various topics that I would cover, which were largely those things that we talk about in the JQ. I talked about the dwindling average lifestyle of the people in the West. I talked about mass migration. I talked about what appeared like a war on largely white Christians, where they were attacked from every vector. And naturally you start to piece the pieces together, and you recognize that there's a common denominator behind them. But when it came to online activism, and I'll never forget, it had to do with the Zendel trial, because all I did was share a thing on that saying, why is it not common knowledge that in the most public hearing on this one event, and I named the event specifically, and I said, why is it not known that the expert witness on behalf of those that were the aggressors, those that were, trying to prove that, of course, this event happened exactly as is presented by all academia, all of the media, all of Hollywood. Why is it not known that the expert witness on their side of the table said that there was not a single piece of physical evidence to support the claim that this was a malicious mass genocide of people? Not one piece of evidence. And there's no violent event denial here. I'm not suggesting that it didn't happen. I'm literally citing a court hearing and the expert witness that was supposed to argue on behalf of the event taking place as all of those pieces that were aforementioned, how they suggested. And why is it that person, the one that again, he was a Jewish individual, why is that not common knowledge of everybody? Because it seems like kind of a significant thing. And bloom, the entire thing was nuked. All the prior content, the handle, everything. And that was when it behooved or kind of dawned on me that I was touching on something that was really sensitive. And as somebody was mentioning before, I can't remember if it was David or if it was Backup, but suggesting that if there is a thing that we're not allowed to talk about, well, then obviously that's the thing that we need to discuss most. And so, I say all those things because if I think back to that moment in time, I can tell you that at that point, there was very little discourse on this subject, on this issue. There was almost nothing out there about the JQ. Nick Fuentes was very early in some of the rhetoric. People were starting to notice the triangulation of certain power. But to think that we've gone from that moment that I can so vividly remember to the last couple years, 3, 4, 5 years, where, again, this was a thing that was extremely obscure to now it is a thing where normal, everyday people that I talk politics with are coming to me and saying, I think there's something going on here with Israel. Like something's wrong. And the beauty of this is the moment people start looking under that cover or behind that curtain, once you see a little bit of it, right? It's like in The Wizard of Oz. Once you see the guy back there for all of a split second, you're forever changed. Dorothy is never going to pay attention to the smoky man that's saying to go get the broom from the Wicked Witch of the West, right? She's going to forever be aware that there's something going on that we're not supposed to notice. And that is the thing that keeps me optimistic. That is the thing that makes this awakening unstoppable. They can spend $1 trillion. They can spend $10 trillion. They can spend $100 trillion bajillion dollars like they're Dr. Evil. And it's not going to matter at some point because everyone's going to know it's a lie. And the big thing that we now have to face essentially is not only the awakening that we have to continue pushing on, but we have to get people comfortable standing out, just like in Orwell's 1984, getting Winston to not only recognize that there's a power dynamic, that there's something drastically wrong, but we have to build a comfort in having a town square where people can ultimately congregate. That can be digitally, it can be physically, it can be communally, whatever it is. But we have to get people to be able to basically look at the slur and the arrow that is racism, that is anti-Semitism, and to be able to say, you know what? I don't care if it's the armor of God, like Stu Peters might suggest, or if it's the armor of truth. But if I can look at almost all of Hollywood and say it's all run by Jews, and if you want to try and disparage me for suggesting that, well, then you're disparaging truth. It's that simple. And I can provide the data. And that's why I think it's incredibly important that we take as professorial, as educated a stance on this, that we avoid the inflammatory rhetoric, that we avoid the kinetic insanity that is encouraged by some individuals that I believe to be plants. It's why Elon Musk is saying to get out in the streets. It's why they are trying to fan the flames of racial animus. It's why they're trying to build this anti-Muslim narrative in Western Europe. It's because they want violence. It should be clear to everyone that is what they want. The thing they do not want is people standing together, hand in hand with your white, black, Muslim, Christian, whatever, and saying, look, we don't have to love diversity, but we're in a diverse fashion going to come together in opposition of this Jewish question. And if we do that, and if we do it every single day with a growing intellectual army of people, we become invincible. We become unstoppable. We become eternal. And I don't mean to make this religious, but it has to have that level of conviction. We have to be Luke Skywalker at the end of the Return of the Jedi, enduring all the lightning from the Emperor. And he calls out to his father. He says, Father, please help me if I remember the script right. And who might that father be? I think it is something that is eternal. I think it's something that is omnipresent. I think it is something that is holy in nature. And I do think that this is a holy war. And so we all have to come together against evil because that's what we are facing. It is largely from one group of people, yes. But there are some that are part of it that are clearly just selling out their fellow man. We've got to come together. We've got to band together, and we've got to have the same conviction that little figurative character that I just referred to had until the very bitter end. And then of all things, it was his father who came in, saved the day. And I think that there's going to be something that comes in and saves the day with us. It may be a Christ-like figure. It might be some kind of political leader that might harken back to another that was an Austrian painter. Or it might just be that there is something that when you fight for the good, you cannot lose. And if we really think about this over thousands of years, this same entity, the same power, the same evil has tried to conquer man, and it is lost over and over and over and over again. So, Sad Chaser, I could not agree with you more. Something is happening. Something is brewing. Something is going to defeat this. And what exactly it looks like, we have no ability to describe, to define, but we can help to manifest it. And so I apologize for the rant, but I sincerely believe that. I just thank all of you for being in here with us in this endeavor, in this journey, whatever it is. And so with that, let's go to the next hand. I apologize for that, Canadian. I'm not sure. Ava, Lou, Tak, you guys want to jump in?
I had a hand up, Ian, if you don't mind me jumping in.
Go for it. I can see Canadian as a co-host, but I don't even know if he is as a speaker.
Or just him as a speaker. Oh, he's there.
No, Canadian.
Watering my back.
Yeah, it's our lovely platform. It's our lovely platform. It gives us hell, but we still come here. So first thing I noticed, thanks for the mic, by the way, guys, and for having me. First thing I noticed with the Charlie Kirk incident was, and you guys may feel vindicated after I say this, it may kind of resonate with you, was the volume and rate of the blood flow was way excessive. So that kind of caught my attention and was in the back of my head for a few days, and I had some ideas. And I get up this morning, I see that Erica Kirk had been basically sourced from Romania, where she was purportedly hooked up with some child trafficking adjacent organizations. And her and Charlie actually met in Israel in 18 and married after that. Then I see the guy at the incident there, the Charlie Kirk incident, and he appears to be, he's in a brown shirt with sunglasses. He's got his arm propped up on the rail there for the divider. And he appears to be operating maybe a zipper or something on his shirt sleeve there, and it seems well possible, and it really looked like to me he was really intently and deliberately operating something akin to maybe a squib, a foam appliance, and a blood pump. And, some guys are going to say, well, that's, it's a schizo takes, auto hoax, but it seems to fit with what I have seen. Why might they do that? Well, nobody wants to get up on stage and get actually shot, so they would have used an actor for that, maybe the man himself, the Charlie Kirk character. How would Charlie Kirk, damn well should know these people, take it on himself? Do we really think he had such big balls and guts that he said, screw Israel, I'm just going to fight them? Or is it damn well a lot more possible that character was playing out the exact role assigned to him by BB himself, and that they just sacrificed him on the chopping block in order to regain control of the narrative? Because you remember, for about 2.5 days, we had Arena Zarutska that we were really pushing, and then all of a sudden Charlie Kirk and Arena is just forgotten now. That's kind of my thoughts on the deal. I don't know if you guys think it's a schizo take, but I wanted to get it off my chest.
I'm not sure if anybody wants to jump in on that one, but I can't help but go for it, Luke.
Yeah, let's go with Eva. Go for it.
Well, Lou, did you want to address that question?
No, it's all you, unless you want to take hands.
Yeah, no, and I don't know if anybody else wants to give their take on it. I mean, I think.
Yeah, I would like to address that. I'm not 100% sure, but everything that happened right after the quote-unquote assassination, I'm first of all, I'm quite torn, because there are some video footage from the 4 o'clock building from the window, where it definitely looks like a muzzle flash and a smoke puff that would come from an actual rifle. With that said, everything that came after the assassination and Charlie Kirk dropped down, everyone that was surrounding him looked like they were just prepared to jump into the positions they should be in. Nobody was really paying attention that there might be follow-up shots. They looked like they were just waiting for the go moment to assume their positions. When Charlie Kirk was carried away, there was no blood trails all the way to the SUV they were carrying him in. Nothing. And if you shoot someone in the neck, there should be at least 2-3 liters of blood that pour out of the wound, right? Just because of the pressure. Nothing like that. And when they carried him off to the back of the tent, there was an underway where they parked some cars, and then they went onto the street. And then there were 3 persons holding mobile phones and filming the whole scenery. One was when they went out of the underway, right to the left in the corner, exactly in the corner, filming the whole 90-degree angle of the whole situation. Then there was a woman that was standing between 2 cars. The car parallel to the SUV Charlie Kirk was transported off in, on the other side of the street. And then there was another guy at the sloped up hill to the right side of the street, who was filming the total of the situation. So when they carried Charlie Kirk, the woman completely stood still and filmed only down the streets. She wasn't paying attention to the whole group carrying Charlie Kirk. When they reached her position, she was still completely focused on only the street. She didn't pay any attention to the group and to Charlie Kirk being thrown into the car. Exactly at that time, when the group arrived at the car, another woman approached the female with the mobile phone, talked to her, gave her a quick sign, and then they both ran off to the sidewalk, right? So out of the picture. And exactly at that moment when Charlie Kirk was thrown into the car, the camera guy on the slope uphill turned down the camera so nobody could see into the car, basically, because before that, all the security that was carrying Charlie Kirk was blocking the view, right? So to me, this whole after scene looked completely staged, and those 3 people with their mobile phones looked like they were a static camera on human bipods. No reaction to the scenery, no reaction to what was really going on, just filming statically, and that was very, very odd to me. So I'm quite torn. And if you look at all the numerology, the appearance of Erica Kirk afterwards, being filmed directly kissing what looked like a mannequin hand in the open casket, wearing a big G ring, right, for like the Freemasonic G. To me, everything surrounding this whole assassination looked so staged that I'm not sure if he really was assassinated. The other thing is the shot from that window at the 4 o'clock position might have been some stun gun. So the actual reaction of Charlie Kirk being shot might look as natural as possible, because if you shoot someone with a stun, he would have tightened up like he did, right? So it looked kind of realistic, but the blood pouring out of his neck wound, that also looked like it was some pouch attached, and they just pressed the button and the whole pouch was just sploshing out some blood. So yeah, I'm quite torn. When it comes to all the surrounding, I would say it was staged. And why would that be staged? Yeah, they wanted to create the right-wing martyr, right? So the left-wing martyr was George Floyd, who was coincidentally born on the exact same date, just 20 years earlier. Yeah, so they had their left-wing martyr to basically instigate the whole right-wing, MAGA, alt-right, everyone who is basically quote-unquote normal, right? Against the leftism, transgender, Antifa narrative, right? So you, everyone was longing basically for a normalization of the